Hey everybody, it's Dave. How y'all doing? I'm okay for Monday. Almost said Tuesday. But we always see these things where people will post saying your vertigo is actually from this. It's not Meniere's disease. Um, or one guy last week posted, "Go see a chiropractor. You'll be fine." And no explanation. Just go see a chiropractor. You'll be fine. Sometimes we see the Dr. Dingleballs, herbal people, the ones from Nigeria, not the people who actually take the time and go to an herbalist that's local to them who knows things and isn't scamming you. Um, we see things like that, and I saw one this morning with a person I wrote a book on everything he does and says it fixed his menieres. You know, I don't think it fixed it. I don't think it cured it. I think it put it in remission. And I think if you stop doing that protocol, that whatever protocol you're doing that's working for you, it's probably going to come back. Because there's no cure. All right. But the one thing people don't realize when they post these things that say, "Hey, this is what works for me. Hey, this is what works for me," or they don't say, "This is what works for me." They always say, "This works." Okay, this tamed my menieres, or this got rid of my menieres. They don't tell you that what works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. They don't tell you that, which is beyond me. Because I've even said it about surgeries. Now, the surgeries I've had for vertigo, the labyrinthectomy and the epileptic decompression surgery, sac decompression surgery, worked for me. Okay, I mean, one attack, almost 11 months. I'm happy. It worked for me. But you know what? It doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And that's the truth. And even the doctors have told me that. They go, "Well, it helps. It might come back. It might not. And there are people out there with the surgeries actually didn't do anything. Pretty much a labyrinthectomy kind of really does take away the vertigo. I mean, that's all gone. It's all destroyed. So that kind of does take away the vertigo, but I do know people where they've had a labyrinthectomy and the vertigo came back and it didn't work and it's still on their left side. It's not on the right. So, or whatever side they're on. So, yeah, sac decompression surgery. It does. There are people that have it and it doesn't work. Okay, I don't know why. And one of the reasons is we're all different. So you kind of got to be wary about this stuff. When people bring things up, bring up products or bring up, you know, different things and say this fixed me and that fixed me and yada, yada, yada. You really got to think. And you really got to do your own research. That's why I have a video that says you need to be your own advocate. It's not just for, seeing your doctors and things like that. It's in general. Because, I mean, I'm not saying what people say is bad. It isn't. A lot of times it's really good and it's worth a try because it's probably not going to hurt you, especially the homeopathic stuff. Try it. It probably isn't going to hurt you. Most likely it probably won't, and it could help you. Like I said about my lower back, I have arthritis in my lower back. I've had arthritis for most of my life, for a long time. Not just since I've gotten to be almost 60. I've had it for a very, very long time. Like today, I can't even get my ring off my finger. It's stuck because my knuckle was swollen because of the arthritis. So, I was trying everything, and my next thing was going to go to a chiropractor. And I mean, even though I do have a spur, there's arthritis, and then there's a spur, and it hits the sciatica nerve. And I was going to see a psychiatrist. I've seen a psychiatrist, a chiropractor, as like my last resort before I just hey I deal with it. And a friend of mine who was into homeopathic and all that stuff said, "Hey, why don't you try this stuff?" It was a tube like Ben Gay, but it wasn't. It was an all natural type of thing. See if that helps with the pain. And I was kind of skeptic at first, and then I went, well, it can't hurt me. It's all natural. It's homeopathic. So I put it on the lower back, and I'll tell you, the pain went away. I mean, probably within 20 minutes. Boom. And I tell you, I was good from that for, God, it was called T-gel. And I was good probably a few months with that. Acted up again, put it back on. Boom, it took care of it. But yeah, it was called T-gel. If somebody, I don't know where to get it. I still have the same bottle they gave me before. But it worked. So yeah, homeopathic, there's nothing wrong with it. And sometimes it's worth a shot. But it's like with other things too. Like, some doctors will prescribe, what do you call it? Antidepressants for the vertigo. Works for some, doesn't work for others. Beta histine, perfect example. It works for a lot of people, I would say. A lot of people say it works for them. But there's people that it doesn't. I'm one of them. Because for me, I can't take it because of my body builds up too much histamine. So I can't take it because I'd be taking that and then popping Benadryl or shooting an EpiPen. So I can't take it, but it's the same thing. And it's the same thing with rescue meds. Some people swear by meclizine. Some people stay away from it. And one reason why they do stay away from it is there's something about it could bring on dementia or something like that. But some people swear by it. Valium. Some people take 2 milligrams of Valium a day, and they swear that it works for them. And it probably does because it calms down the nervous system. And some people like me use it as a rescue drug, and mine's 5 milligrams. But I don't take it every day. I tried the 2 milligram every day. It didn't work out well for me. The 5 milligram as a rescue works well for me. But doesn't work for everybody. And the same thing with Epsilon when it comes out. There's going to be a good bunch of people it doesn't work for. And some of you is going to be prepared for that because some of you are so desperate that you're going to jump for it. And then when it doesn't do something, you might be scared. You might be like, what the, But yeah, it's like the one thing I can't stand is when people say, well, it works for me. I don't know if it's going to work for you, but it's worth a shot. And they just don't do that. And in a way, they kind of mislead people. Because like I said earlier, the guy this morning I saw wrote a novel. Now, if somebody goes through that and does everything this guy does, and it doesn't help them, where do you go next? So my advice is, if you're going to put out something, always say, it works for me, but I don't know if it's going to work for you. Because that way you get people thinking. Because there's a lot of desperate people out there. A lot of desperate people. And everybody wants to be cured. Everybody wants to be fixed. Wants to be able to do everything. And then, sometimes you build a high hope. That's the one thing I did not like about Epsilon, about the people who were in the trials for Epsilon and talking about it in support groups. Because I think you're building people up for failure. I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm not saying I don't want it to work. I do want it to work. But the realistic side of me says it's not going to work for everybody. So on that note, I will talk to you all later. And remember that. One more thing. We all have Meniere's, but we're all different. They don't really know what causes it. Okay? Some say it's autoimmune, and it's very possible. Some say it's hereditary genetics. Another possible, because I do know people in families that have Meniere's disease. And the third thing is they don't know. And you go to subsets, like concussions, head trauma, loud music, like if you attended a lot of rock concerts when you were a kid, like I did. I don't know if that's what caused my Meniere's disease, but I did attend a lot. So many other factors that they just don't know. So just remember, just because you have it, just because something works for you, doesn't mean it's going to work for me. Just because something works for me, doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And be your own advocate. Talk to you later.